Good evening, folks. I've got your discussion B for you. We're discussing the delicate conversations people have for end of life, how people handle that. Okay, so I'm going to go through the conversation with you for the presentation. So please join me in tonight's presentation. Here we go. Acknowledging the emotional weight, end of life conversations are among the most profound and difficult exchanges in healthcare. They require not only medical clarity, but also emotional courage, the willingness to speak openly about mortality, values, and the kind of care that honors the person's dignity. The phrase navigating end of life conversations with with patients and families signals a structured, compassionate approach to guiding these discussions, helping people move from silence and avoidance toward clarity, shared decision making, and peace of mind. Overview of the page's intent. The surrounding page content frames these conversations as essential, not optional. It emphasizes that patients and their families should be active participants in shaping care rather than leaving decisions solely to clinicians or waiting until a crisis forces rushed choices. The guidance encourages early dialogue, confidence building, and proactive stance so that care reflects what truly matters to the individual. Guys, you have to have this kind of conversations early with the person that's at the end of life, or the person who has a terminal illness, so that you know what their wishes are, so you can follow them down to the T if necessary. So with that said, let's keep going, shall we? Why these conversations matter. Preventing crisis driven decisions. Without prior dialogue, families often face urgent choices under stress, which can lead to conflict or regret. Improving quality of life. Thoughtful planning ensures that the patient's remaining time is spent in alignment with their values, whether that means comfort, spiritual support, or being at home. Providing peace of mind. Families gain reassurance knowing they are honoring their loved one's wishes, reducing guilt and uncertainty. Supporting dignity. Explicit conversations protect against unwanted interventions, and ensure care is respectful and person-centered. Okay, core principles emphasized. The surrounding content highlights several guiding principles: empathy and respect, listening deeply to patients, fears and hopes. Sensitivity, recognizing the emotional weight and pacing the conversation appropriately. Clarity, making values and preferences explicit so that they can be honored across care settings. Shared understanding, helping families navigate uncertainty together, reducing conflict and confusion. Practical steps for patients and families. Initiate the conversation early. Guys, you want to have this conversation early enough so that the person that has the illness or is passing has enough time to be involved in the decisions they need to make. Don't wait till the last minute. Make sure that as family members what your loved one wants, so that people like me can carry them out with your help. That's what we do as end of life people. We take the person's wants and wishes to truly to heart. Some of us really put ourselves into the profession we do. So, okay, practical steps for patients and families. Initiate the conversation early. Begin with values and what quality of life means to the person, rather than waiting for medical crisis. Go beyond resuscitation decisions. Discuss pain management, preferred care settings, spiritual needs, surrogates, decision makers, and after death preferences. Document wishes. Use advance directives or living wills and ensure they are accessible to clinicians and family members. Revisit regularly. Circumstances change. Updating documents and conversations. Keep care aligned. Include the right people. Involve caregivers, trusted family, and community support early to reduce confusion later. Guidance for clinicians. The page emphasizes a conversation ready approach for healthcare providers. Prepare for discussion. Create a safe response, a safe, supportive environment. elective Ellicott values ask structured questions about what matters most to the patient. Document clearly, record preferences in accessible formats. Honor, honor consistently, ensure care teams across settings, respect and follow the documented wishes. This framework helps clinicians translate conversations into reliable, person centered care. Timing and confidence. The content stresses that these conversations should be normalized. As part of ongoing care, not reserved for emergencies, confidence grows through small, honest exchanges that build toward a clear plan. Families and patients are encouraged to revisit the topic regularly, treating it as a living dialogue rather than a one time event. Common pitfalls to avoid: over focusing on a single decision, limiting the conversation to DNR status can obscure broader values and needs. Waiting for a crisis, delaying decisions, forces families into high stress decision making with little time or clarity. Okay, ignoring cultural context, overlooking spiritual or cultural practices risks care that feels impersonal or misaligned. Cultural and faith considerations. The surrounding content acknowledges the beliefs, rituals, and communication styles vary widely. Effective end of life conversations integrate these dimensions, respecting family roles, spiritual traditions, and community supports. This avoids one size fits all approaches and ensures care reflects the patient's identity and values. Closing thoughts. Navigating end of life conversations is not about scripting the perfect dialogue. It's about creating space for honesty, dignity, and shared understanding with patients, families, and clinicians. Engaging early and openly, they transform one of life's hardest moments into an opportunity for clarity, compassion, and peace. Would you like me to expand this into a practical toolkit, for example, a checklist or script that families and clinicians in Meadville could use to guide these conversations step by step? Now, that is B for you. I'm going to take a break and then I'll be back on with C in a little bit. So for now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.